we are going to Mahabodhi temple now, and we'll have to submit our mobile phones in a locker that they provide over there. This is the place where we have to submit our slippers, and different places where we have to submit our phones.
Mahabodhi temple is not just a temple, it's a story. It's a story that marks the place where Lord Buddha attained enlightenment and also encompasses the significant 6 weeks after the day when Buddha attained enlightenment. In this video, we'll be telling you about those lesser told stories as we take you on a video tour to this UNESCO World Heritage Site. But before that, let's relish what we get to experience once we enter the Mahabodhi temple.
Saranam
Amid a sprawling compound dotted with multiple small and big monuments stands tall the main temple, wearing a crown made up of 300 kg gold, which is a devotional gift from Thailand.
There's a long line of devotees waiting for their turn to go inside the temple to see the beautiful and powerful golden statue of Lord Buddha.
On the left hand side there are small rooms where you can see Buddha's statue inside, and on the other sides of the floor you'll find monks sitting in deep meditation and reading scriptures.
This temple was built by Samrat Ashok. Once you enter the temple, you'll be awe-stricken by the beauty and the architecture of the interiors of the temple. The statue is very well maintained, and the decoration around the statue will make you even more curious about the place.
The statue of Buddha was found in the ruins by Lord Cunningham and it was placed there in 1880.
What appeals me the most are the devotees and the monks sitting in deep meditation right in front of the statue.
Buddha attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree after 57 days of meditation. The position of meditation is also referred to as Vajra Asana. Vajra Asana is a Pali word and Vajra means stone and Asana means to sit. So Buddha was sitting under the Bodhi tree like a stone.
This is the footprint of Lord Buddha. It is imaginary made by the Emperor Ashoka 2300 years ago.
Okay.
And
This is made by Ashoka.
Yeah. This is the footprint of Lord Buddha. Ashoka wants to, and could you see that footprint?
Yeah.
Ashoka wants to indicate that when Lord Buddha was born, he used to have something special things in his body. For example, some Dhamma chakra and some pieces are in there. But
Okay.
this time it's dark, so we could not recognize clearly.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is the place where the Buddha attained the supreme enlightenment under that Bodhi tree, and that is the place where he sat during meditation. Yeah, and right now we'll go to see the other places.
This is metal, it's not stone. This is wood. ये metal है.
These all are stones, but actually the Thailand peoples, they have one gold paper. They just, when they pray, they just put it like this.
This is the direct descendant and the fourth generation of the same tree. The first tree was cut down by King Ashoka's wife because she was afraid that Ashoka will also follow the path of Buddha.
The second tree grew out naturally and was destroyed by Muhammad Bakhtiar Khilji. And the third tree also grew out naturally but was destroyed by storm.
During Ashoka's time, his son Mahendra and daughter Sanghamitra took a branch of the original Bodhi tree to Sri Lanka and planted it at Anuradhapuram. In 1880, the British government and Lord Cunningham got a branch of the tree from Sri Lanka and planted at the site.
This is the direct descendant of the tree under which Buddha attained enlightenment. This is also known as the navel of the earth.
That place is called the Vajra Asana. Vajra Asana is a mudra setting style, like it is Vajra means a stone and Asana means Buddha was seated there.
Okay.
It is the fourth generation tree from that time to this time, when there used to be the first tree. The first tree was cut by the wife of King Ashoka because she used to think that if this tree will be here, he will also do the same thing like a Lord Buddha, and he will leave his family and kingdom and he will be a monk. So because of these reasons, he cut the first tree. Second tree was came out naturally, but the second tree was cut by the Islamic ruler who was a Muslim he don't like. So he just cut it. Third tree was came out naturally, but the third one was destroyed by the nature. By highly winds and rain come, it was destroyed by nature. The fourth one doesn't came here anymore. When here used to be the first tree under which Buddha was attained the enlightenment, Emperor Ashoka had one son and daughter Mahendra and daughter Sanghamitra. They taken the original branch of this tree from here to Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, the place is called Anuradhapuram. They planted over there, describe and spread Buddhism in Sri Lanka. So when here the fourth tree doesn't come, when in India the British government, Lord Cunningham in 1880 time came, they just gone back to Sri Lanka and they bring from that place to here and they replantation. So it is the generation of the same tree, everything is the same. It is the branches of that tree.
Yeah.
So it is the fourth generation tree from that time to this time. But after the enlightenment, Lord Buddha spent.
This place is called Animesh Lochana, meaning the place of unblinking gazing. After attaining enlightenment, Buddha spent his second week in open-eyed meditation, gazing at the Bodhi tree without blinking his eyes.
चावल खेती जब खाने लगता है उस समय बहुत सारे मतलब कीड़ा होता है and there are not insects and these all the things. So everybody talks it's not a good, but they just the natives they just accept it. But soon I think they will remove it because there was also there. They have been removed already. Actually, you know, in 2013 there was a bombing. That's why right now nothing is allowed like cell phones and these all the things. Before that we can. I used to bring myself laptop, tabs and phone, everything you are allowed to bring. But he was a bombing and that's why it's prohibited. And this is the Animesh Lochana. He used to be standing and watching, gazing to the tree. And inside.
During his third week after attaining enlightenment, Buddha did a walking meditation at this place, and this place is known as Chakraman Sthal.
To mark the spots wherever he kept his feet while doing the walking meditation, lotus made up of stone was constructed.
These all are the imaginary made by the Emperor Asoka 2300 years ago. But have you heard about Bakhtiyar Khilji? He destroyed this award.
The ones kept on the floor are from the time of Ashoka, and they were excavated from the ruins of the temple.
This is the place where Buddha spent his fourth week in meditation. It is said that sunlight passed through his body and reflected 5 colors: blue, white, orange, yellow and red. These are the colors that you will find in the Buddhist flags.
The blue color represents universal compassion for all beings.
Yellow symbolizes balance.
Red symbolizes the blessings that the practice of Buddha's teachings bring.
Orange symbolizes unshakable wisdom of Buddha's teachings. And white symbolizes purity of Buddha's teachings.
After attaining enlightenment, Buddha spent his 5th week under a banyan tree, where he came across a Brahmin who was very proud because he was a Brahmin by birth. So Buddha told him that you become a Brahmin by your deeds, not by birth. Now we are going to the place where Buddha spent his 6th week after enlightenment. As you can see, there are many stupas and pagodas. There is also a part of Ashoka pillar which was excavated from the ruins. People here believe that if you throw a coin and it stays at the top of this pillar, their wishes will be granted.
Buddham saranam gacchami, dhammam saranam gacchami, sangham saranam gacchami.
This is the spot where Buddha spent his 6th week in meditation. It is said that a very heavy storm came while he was meditating, and the king of snakes, Muchilinda, came out of the lake to shelter Lord Buddha so that his meditation does not get disturbed.
After completion of the 7th week of enlightenment, two merchants named Tapusa and Bhallika were passing by, and they saw the divine figure of Buddha and they came to him. They offered him rice cake and honey.
As Buddha had nothing else to give to them, so in return he gave them a branch of the tree under which he was sitting and gave them a mantra, Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami.
He did not say Sangham Saranam Gacchami because Sangha was not found till then. While coming out of the temple, you can see Jataka tales engraved on the walls.
Buddham saranam gacchami, dhammam saranam gacchami, sangham saranam
When we are about to reach the main exit gate of the Mahabodhi temple, we came across this circular shaped object. There is a very interesting fact about it is that when air passes through this object, it moves in a circular motion due to the design of this thing. And it's like, for me it was quite interesting thing.
Buddham saranam gacchami, dhammam saranam gacchami.
please do like, share and subscribe to our channel, because we are going to travel more and post more videos. So don't miss any of our videos, because we are going to present Bodh Gaya to you in a very different way.
Yes. Please like, share and subscribe and support us. Thank you. Bye.